And good morning, it's Priscilla Batzel. Oh, and setting the timer wrong again, darn. Okay, it's Priscilla Batzel, an expressionist art studio gallery's backyard. And I have in front of you and me a 16 by 20 inch canvas. And I have also got a very strong intention to swipe some colors. I thought I'd share the edge catcher is just a well-used half of a 16 by 20 inch sheet of plastic that comes in the bulk packs of 16 by 20 inch canvases Michaels sells. It's just cut in half. And we may or may not use that. Probably not with a swipe, actually, now that I think about it. But I'm going to take my freezer paper, my well-used freezer paper, plastic side, what's left of it up, so that if I have any paint come over the end, I won't have a problem with that. So it's been a long time since I did a 16 by 20 inch swipe. And I kind of like the first ones I ever did, and I wish I had my glasses, and I'm going to have to use this sort of shabby pair because I think I hid my other ones on myself. They do show up once in a while. Anyway, so never mind. Oh, purple paint right in front of my eyes. Never mind. So I often use a zigzag pattern, and I often also use a spatula to flatten out my paint, so that I don't have excess. I'm kind of thinking about using fewer colors, but that doesn't necessarily usually work out for me very well, so I'm not making any promises. I am going to use this diagonal edge Princeton Catalyst Art Tool spatula, which works really well for exactly this purpose. I'm going to knock some of that paint right over the edge, and on this side. Gold is kind of sheer, and this looks especially sheer, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because it's hot today. And I'm just going to give myself some patterns, some colors rather, that I like. And maybe, just maybe, I can stick to my plan. Like I said, no promises. So I want to mention to everybody that I'm running a contest started November 5th, and it will end at midnight December 5th. And if you enter via contributing to my studio by a PayPal, which you can find on my Facebook page or on my YouTube header or in the description below the video where the recipe and the description for the video are. I'm going to take some. Everything's looking really sheer today. You know, I've been away from the studio doing other things that I had to do for a few days, and so I did shake up all my paints, but I'm wondering what this is going to be like. I think I'm going to let that one just spread out. Or maybe I'll just put something else really cool next to it that's kind of different. I'm sort of picking my colors at random. Wishing I had glasses that didn't have a big blob of paint in the middle of them. But that's my bad, so never mind. Be alright. I am going to clean off my spatula with my wet cotton rag made from sweatshirt material. I recommend them. Yeah, everything's looking really kind of opaque. I guess we'll find out how this all works in a little bit. Oh, I love that color. I want some more purple to go with that color. I've often talked about just leaving one of these zigzag creations all by itself, but I'm afraid that I don't have the capacity to allow myself the imperfection of non-symmetry, and they almost never start out symmetrical. But being that it's a swipe, it doesn't really matter. It'll just pop cells all over the place. And I'm going back into that blue, even though I said I wouldn't. I'm letting it spread out. I'm saying forcing it to spread out. I say thank you to all you guys for making all your comments lately. It's nice to talk to you. It's nice to make new friends too. Happy to have you here every day. Some of you are here every day. That's nice to know. Let's see what else I've got. I'm just going to knock whatever paint I've got off over there. I want some real magenta, and I want some really kickin' turquoise metallic, which is a lot of times a lot of times it's a metallic paint from the craft section. of Hobby Lobby where I shop. Seems like there's good deals and regular sales, 30% off sales. I like that. You can only buy 2-ounce bottles, but when you're using what I'm using, which is a 16-ounce bottle, it takes like 2.5 2-ounce bottles, and then the rest is my favorite recipe of 10 to 20% GAC 800 to keep the paint from cracking, as per usual, because I don't like cracks in my paint, and I like to use heavy, thick paint sometimes, and that really stopped it from happening, or so it seems to me. Alright, so now back to the magenta, which is, by the way, for those of you who are interested, and I know some of you are, always a golden product. It seems to have just really good color saturation. I can do pretty much whatever I want with it, and I don't worry about it. It's expensive, so I wait for a 50% off coupon at Michael's for sure every time. Now, watching those cells, the gold is selling with the magenta. That's really kind of nice. I love that. But it reminds me that I have Deco or pouring medium mixed into my recipe along with the Floetrol that I always use by Flood, that you can pick up most places. Hardware stores, specifically Lowe's and Home Depot, stuff like that. So I have found a lot of times recently that white is working as a catalyst for me. That looks like white pearl. That's okay. I don't mind that. And let me do 2 of those. And then I'm tempted to let myself, whoa, what's that? Something stuck to my tip. Paint, go figure! And I see that other thing, and it stuck to my finger. I'm going to put that right down the middle of that. And double squeeze it. Now, I have really enjoyed the neon pinks, but I find that they don't stay very neon or even on the surface unless you are willing to put them near white. So anything that's a light color, I gotta stop putting the tops back on the bottles before I'm done using them. I've got to clean that tip out. Whoop, yep, see? I was right about that. Let me clean my spatula off one more time. Get whatever that is in there. I'm hoping it's the time of year when the bugs don't like to land in my painting anymore. It's nice I don't have to really worry about whether that's perfect or not there, and I don't. I want something in here, and I'm wondering what it's going to be. I think I'm just going to settle for the pink that I want. Do it again down here. I only have that one gold stripe in the middle, and I think I'm going to augment that. Some more gold, and I'm going to do the same for the gold stripe with the green. And getting pretty close to where I might want to stop and add a swipe color at the end, which is probably going to be black again because it just works. And what can I say about things that work? I always got to do something a little rogue. Even though it may not look pretty now. I just made up myself a new color, which is a very, you can't tell from the bottle, a very orangey yellow, and I used my unicorn spit orange as the catalyst in the yellow, which was just a Artist Loft brand, to see if I could alter it and what would happen. Most often the unicorn spit bleeds through back to the back of the canvas, but if I sell an artwork, I sell it with brown paper backing on, covering up all the schmutz. So I recommend that, and I don't really worry too much about what's underneath. Now, I did set my timer. We do have 10 minutes left. And I'm going to make sure that I remember that it's going to stop, that I have to stop early, because I have a lot of paint in my way. Let's see. I have this really nice metallic blue that I get out and then I forget to use, and I think I'm going to use it anyway. Alright, that's looking pretty nice. I feel like I'm missing something, and I think that something is a little more pink. It's kind of a little more red. Maybe some actual yellow. Let's see what some actual yellow does in there. So you can see the difference. That's not bad. I may regret that, but it's pretty right now. I'm good with that. I didn't use very much, yeah, I'm going to town, very much of my favorite neon purple from Folk Art. It's a multi-surface paint. Here's my black. I'm ready. I'm going to move one of these out of the way, right behind me, so I have room to pull through. And I am going to lay down a puddle of black on one end. This is meant to be reminiscent of one of my first recorded pours. Let's call it the anniversary, the re-anniversary edition or something. Now what I use for a swipe tool instead of a wet paper towel or a sheet of paper or whatever most people use is the cut-off hem of a cotton turtleneck or t-shirt, something that I'm never going to use again. And I'm going to let some of that paint fall right over and cover that edge right now, rather than have to come back and do it later, because that's how I roll. Simple enough. Alright, I want some black at that other end, you know. Now that I see it, I really like it. I don't know if it's going to serve any purpose or not. I know the other colors are going to pull through. It's probably not going to make a darn bit of difference. I've got no white in there. White is usually a very good catalyst for other things. The reason I was wiping off my spatula is because I noticed I didn't knock any of this color over here. I'm going to let all of that flow right over the edge. I can't really see it, but I think because I have a turntable, which is not purchasable unless Martha Stewart decides to reissue her patio table Lazy Susans, that I got this one at Kmart like a long time ago. Okay, so some of that's covered and some of it needs a little help. So let's give it a little tiny bit of help. And I think the rest, if I drag it over there, will probably take care of itself, more or less. It's not covering on the other side either, but I can just push it over. Alright, now, swipe tool coming right up, leave that off. What end shall I go from? I think I'll go from this end. My swipe tool, like I said, it's a wrung out, dampened piece of well-used swipe tool. There's the hem for the t-shirt. I'm going to put one more little line of paint down there. Wipe my finger off because I can't keep my fingers out of my paint. And I'm going to take the hemmed part, the bottom 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to lay it right along the bottom edge and pull it up. Push it back a little because you usually remove a little paint like that. Let it lay right in the paint and say, do I want this to be a wavy stripe? A wavy swipe or stripe? Wavy, I'm tongue-tied, never mind. Let's just go for it. Now there is no silicone in my paints, my pre-mixed paints. Like I said, the recipe is below the video in the description. This is some great colors. Usually there's paint on the rag and I will use it to cover the sides. But first I'll let it fall very slowly, or not, down over the edge and tap it on. Because until it has a chance to soak in, it's still very viable. And it will lead the rest of the paint along. Come on, behave. Yep, just push that right up against the edge. And attempt to do the same thing on this side. Might have to adjust my canvas toward the edge of my tile. It is a tile, by the way, on my Lazy Susan base, which is just a ring. You cannot buy them, as I mentioned. That'll work pretty well. Thwack, thwack. Okay, I see that I'm mostly covered, and my end is covered, and I'm going to take this. I have some beautiful paint forming on my freezer paper. The reason I use freezer paper is because you can peel the residual paint that settles down on it off and use it for skins. And I would love to show you that, especially right now that it's doing its thing. But I think that's just one more thing I shouldn't be doing. So this is doing exactly what I was hoping for. And usually I will stick a skewer in or drag some paint somewhere. But I'm thinking that I might like to leave this just exactly as it is. We have 4 minutes left, so I have time to remind you rather, that there's a contest. There's 3 paintings up for grabs. You get to pick one if you win. That's how that works. And I will announce the winner on the 8th of December, and I will send them an email also. And I will show the painting they picked, and I will probably, if I get enough money in the contest to cover the cost of the art and the shipping, I will probably continuously run a contest. This is so much what I wanted. I am so pleased, and I'm as tempting as it could be to mess with it, and I do love messing with it. I have a really excellent arrangement of colors, and I don't think that anything is required other than that I torch. We torch not just to release air bubbles caught in the paint from shaking the paint, but we also torch because the heat causes a reaction between the layers of colors and sometimes helps create more pattern and more cells in the artwork. So whatever I haven't told you is, as I recall, shop my Amazon link at no additional cost to you. It helps me out. The Princeton Catalyst Art Tool spatulas are there. If you can't find the link, ask me, I'll send it to you. My standard procedure is to use my OXO omelet turning spatula, which is the best paint spreading tool you can imagine. Buy the bigger one, it's cheaper. In the description for my videos, you will find Volume 1 and Volume 2 mentioned at the bottom of the description. Those are Facebook albums that show all of the wet and dry artworks from the YouTube videos. That's on Expressionist Art Studio Fans and Collectors. If you want to join my group, it's Expressionist Art Studio Appreciation Group. Expressionist Art Studio Gallery is my main page that I've had forever. I don't do a lot there. I have Expressionist Art Studio Totes and More. Is it Totes and More? Whatever. It's something similar. You'll find it if you're looking for it. And it'll take you to my Fine Art America and Pixels.com page, where you can look at everything I have posted there as a shower curtain or a coffee mug or a t-shirt or baby onesies or a duvet cover. Boy, this would be an awesome duvet cover. Wow, that would be fantastic. Also, down there is my Instagram link. So I think I've pretty much covered everything that you need to know. And I've got paintings to fix and to play with, and I'm going to go photograph this in the afternoon sun, even though I said it's good morning to everybody. It's late in the day here. Time changed and my schedule's all messed up. I'm going to see what you can see and make sure you can see all of it. You can. And then I'm going to take a picture when I go. And I gotta say, this is Priscilla Batzel at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery's backyard. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, wait! Thank you all for the contributions! I really, really appreciate that. We're down a little income. We lost 3/4 of my husband's pension recently, and everything you've done has helped me immensely to keep going, and I have projects I would really like to do. I'd like to make a living at this. My artwork is for sale, and I want to make sure to thank all the incredible, generous contributions I've had recently, and the ones in the past, and let you all know that every contribution since the beginning of YouTube videos is going to be included in the contest this first time. Maybe not next month, but for now you're all in there. So I will see you soon in the next video, and this is me in Spring Hill. Bye for now. Priscilla out.